Katsina records alarming 652 child malnutrition deaths. Zanfar residents call for increased security. FCT residents take precaution to avert repeat of last year's flood devastation. On the foreign scene, United Nations warns of impending famine in Sudan. Good evening, this is News Hour on Trust TV. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Doctors Without Borders recently announced that 652 children died of malnutrition in the first 6 months of 2025 in Katsina State. The charity organization says the children died due to funding cuts by international donor organizations and from hunger following years of insecurity in northern Nigeria, forcing farming communities out of the farming business. Trust TV's Abdullah Yamadi visited two facilities of Kurfasori and Ture Yaradua in Katsina, where patients with malnutrition complications are being admitted. The report.
Attention turns to these two facilities in Katsina following the alarming pronouncement of 652 deaths in a space of only 6 months. At the moment, a total of 158 malnourished children were admitted on Thursday alone at Ture Yaradua and Kurfasori facilities in Katsina when Trust TV News visited. According to MSF's records, 70 revived patients are discharged daily. The charity organization also mentioned Jibia and Bazari as the worst affected local governments with highest number of admissions. These are local government areas devastated by almost 2 decades of armed attacks. This simply means insecurity, which forced thousands of farmers to abandon their farmlands, is one of the major causes of hunger, leading to malnutrition in a state with a population of about 10 million people.
As you can see, this is a facility that belongs to the state, and everyone working belongs to the government. Nurses of Nigeria whom we are training, as well as co-opting some of the staff from the primary healthcare as well as the hospital service management board. They are giving us at least 40% of the human resource we are working with.
When the patient is okay and is fully recovered, discharge him from ATFC. All what you are giving patient here is free. Everything is free.
Only the lucky ones are here, while some disadvantaged, malnourished, stunted children often suffer, suffocate, and die in silence at their communities. These two nursing mothers on admission from Rimi and Jibia local communities in Katsina State speak on their experiences at the MSF's facility.
My name is Rabi Bala from Domdom village under Rami Guza ward in Rami local government. Miriam is my 4th child. She was so malnourished when we arrived. She received blood transfusion and other medications free of charge. She is better now. We are happy and grateful to God. I'm Khadija Musa from Riko Ward in Jambia local government area, Katsina State. When we arrived here, my baby was having diarrhea, fever and eye ailments, but thank God she's better now.
The charity organization in Katsina confirmed admitting patients from not only Katsina, but from Kano, Jagawa, Zamfara, and even the neighboring Niger Republic. Faced by the undisputed reality, the government has constituted a special committee to, among other things, investigate and identify worst affected communities and vulnerable households, review the recently released MSF's report, and recommend workable solutions within 2 weeks of its inauguration.
The government was serious about that issue, and for that reason a committee was set so that we can sit down, have relevant consultations and visitation to see for ourselves and at the same time provide a workable resolution on how to address this problem. No government can sit and look at its people in this kind of situation without taking any action, and that is the purpose of creating this committee.
We want to jointly fight issue of nutrition so that it become thing of past, so that by next year it will be prevention, not until when patients are malnourished to start coming with medication. I think prevention is better than cure, as they say.
Katsina residents who are grieving over the MSF's report are also desirous to have a genuine investigation that ensures realistic interventions which could adequately address malnutrition crisis in the state. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Over in Zanfar State, residents of Banga community in Autonomy, the local government area of the state, are urging the federal and state governments to intensify the fight against bandits and their collaborators in order to restore peace to troubled parts of the state. They made the appeal when Governor Dauda Lawal visited the area to condole with families of victims following the killing of 38 out of 56 persons abducted by armed bandits. The report.
On April 9, 2025, armed groups invaded Banga community, abducting 56 residents, mostly women, youth, and men. Among the victims were 3 pregnant women who reportedly gave birth in captivity, with their babies allegedly killed by the captors. The incident happened while Governor Lawal was outside the country. His deputy, on the governor's instructions, visited the community to console the bereaved families and distribute relief materials. The delegation also visited Sakajiki, Kurimadaru, Maguru and Tambarawa villages that had recently suffered attacks in which several people were killed and others abducted. Upon his return, Governor Lawal led a high-powered government team back to the affected communities in Kauranamuda local government area, assuring residents of his administration's commitment to tackling insecurity and restoring order.
Basically, we're here to commiserate with the people of Banga over the unfortunate incident that happened some few days ago while I was not in the country. And I feel as a leader, I should be here to commiserate with the entire people of Banga and to assure them that government is doing everything humanly possible to provide security and protect lives and properties of the citizens of Zanfar State.
The Emir of Kauranamuda, Major Sanusi Ashar, retired, appreciated the governor's visit and solidarity with affected families.
We are grateful to the governor for his concern over the incident that occurred at our communities. Like you know him, he does not have double standards. He does not also waste time. Once he promised to do something, he will do it.
Some victims' relatives recounted their ordeal and appealed for stronger security measures to protect them from further attacks.
I am one of those deeply affected by this incident because my eldest son, Abdurra'uf, was among the victims. The bandit, numbering over 30, attacked them at their business place and abducted people aged between 7 and 22. Sadly, they killed all of them in the bush. When the devastating news reached me, I was so overwhelmed with grief that I could not walk. We are grateful to Governor Lawal for showing concern over what happened to us. In my family, we lost 2 wives. At my boss's residence, Ibrahim, we lost 6 people along with several others from the community. It has been extremely difficult for me and for all the affected families. We are, however, encouraged that the governor came in person to console us over this unfortunate incident, something that has never happened before.
Governor Lawal stressed that his administration will not play politics with the security of lives and properties. He urged residents to intensify prayers for God's intervention and for the exposure of those behind the incessant attacks.
Troops of the Joint Task Force Operation Wellstroke have dislodged armed herders and recovered an automatic rifle in Benue State. The acting media information officer, UPWS, Lieutenant Ahmed Zubeiru, stated this in a statement made available to newsmen on Friday in Markadi, the state capital. Zubairu stated that on Wednesday, the troops during their routine farm patrol at Bakio Outpost and Agidi community, where East local government area, recovered an AK-47 rifle with a mounted magazine. He also said they recovered the rifle at a suspected crossing point reportedly used by armed herders at the Mbakio community. The statement further stated that security forces had continued to patrol the area to deter further incursions, reinforce civilian confidence, and continue with their socio-economic activities in the area. The statement also stated that the force commander OPWS Major General Moses Gara had commended the troops for their resilience, professionalism, and tactical discipline during the engagement. Gara urged them to remain alert, proactive, and responsive to actionable intelligence provided by local communities. He reaffirmed his commitment to ensuring that peace and security prevailed not only in Benue but also in Taraba and Nasarawa State. Security agencies in Delta State have reported a significant drop in kidnapping cases, crediting the success to improved coordination between security operatives, traditional rulers, and local government authorities. They say recent operations have led to key breakthroughs, including the rescue of 3 abducted students, the killings of 2 suspected kidnappers, and the recovery of AK-47 rifles, magazines, and ammunition. Jonathan Awai has more in this report.
The commander of the 63rd Brigade, Brigadier General Adamo Shonibare, attributed the decline in kidnapping incidents to stronger collaboration among security agencies and other stakeholders. He added that efforts are also underway to tackle drug abuse and trafficking, which remain major drivers of insecurity in the state.
Doing a lot at the grassroots. We know that the drug proliferation and the drug abuse and the misuse and sale is part of the reason for insecurity. And also last week, I also welcomed the commander of the NDLEA, Delta State, to my office, and we had extensive deliberations with his personnel and my personnel, and a lot is being done in this regard. So we are working on that, and hopefully, by God's grace, we'll be able to rid Delta States of all the kingpins that are bringing all these drugs into the states and making our youth to misbehave and pose security challenges to us.
Delta State Commissioner of Police, CP Abaniwanda Olufemi, assured residents and investors of a peaceful festive season, promising an even calmer Christmas than last year. He noted that several kidnapped suspects have been neutralized, firearms recovered, and over 5.7 million naira in ransom money seized.
Okay. His Excellency the Executive Governor has just finished sharing this. He has also re-emphasized that we'll go back to the drawing board and make adequate preparation for the Ember months. We are aware September 1st is around the corner, and we are aware of what happens in those months preparatory to the festive period. So we are going back to our drawing board. We'll ensure that Delta, like we had one of the most peaceful Christmas in the past year. What we are telling to Deltas is that this year's Christmas will be more peaceful, and Deltas can return back home to come and celebrate and have a good time with their loved ones.
The secretary to the state government, Kingsley Emo, speaking on behalf of the state governor, commended security agencies for their achievements in curbing insecurity. He reaffirmed the state government's commitment to continuously support security operatives in their mission to safeguard lives and property.
To able to reduce crime. Of course, you know that cultism and drug are one and the same thing. Yeah. Robbery and drugs is one and the same thing. So we are trying to make sure that all of those strands, dangerous strands that promote crime and criminality, are things that we're trying to do as a state.
With the Ember months approaching, security agencies said residents can expect a safer and more peaceful festive period. Jonathan Awanyai, Trust TV News, Asaba.
Residents of flood-prone areas in Abuja are stepping up precautions to avert this year's potential flood surge in their communities. Our correspondent Habiba Tajai visited one of these areas to observe the measures being taken to prevent a repeat of last year's devastation.
Flood risks in Abuja fluctuates throughout the year, with higher threats typically occurring between April and June and between July and September. Last year, the city experienced severe flooding that hit communities such as Lokogoma, Galadimawa, Gariki, Wuse, Duse, and Lugbe, particularly Trademore Estate. Trademore Estate, under the Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC, has a high concentration of flooded affected households, partially due to its proximity to multiple water bodies, including lakes, rivers, and creeks. In 2024, over 100 houses in the estate were submerged, with flood waters reaching above window level.
This is Trademore Estate Phase 2. This place is currently known for its flooding yearly. Currently, the water level is low. I'm here to hear from the residents what they have put in place to mitigate this year's flooding.
We have expanded the bridge and open up the canal, pack all the dirties and the nylon, all the things that used to block the drainage. So everywhere is cleared now, so there's no more flood.
Before now, here used to be a terrible place when it rains, because of course here used to be flooded actually, yes. So especially this place, you know. But this one here, it doesn't look affected that much. It's often from that front. You understand that the whole thing, flood of it used to occur the more, and before you know it, everywhere will flood there with water. You can't even drive through. Some houses will submerge and all that. But after the work they did over there, they piled up the sands and all that, creating more water flow way for water to flow through. So as you can see, if it's before, you can't stand where you're standing right this now, because by now it should be probably submerged or something. So, but with the drainage clearance they did there, everything have actually reduced drastically.
The acting director of the Federal Capital Territory Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, Abdurrahman Muhammad, says the agency is fully prepared for the rainy season.
Telling them that yes, that's how predicted that there's going to be flood, and we have sanitized them. So we are prepared, we are fully prepared. And from time to time, every month, as NESA bring up their data, we also look at the data that concern us, and we inform the community. We have been able to go around all the community, the chiefs, the local government chairmen, and the local emergency council of these communities. We have been able to activate them, and we also tell our volunteers in some of these areas to be prepared.
However, towards mitigating this occurring flood in Trademore, the residents have just pledged their support towards averting dumping of refuse into the waterway. Habibat Ajay, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The governor of Yobe State, Mai Malabuni, has directed an immediate response to provide life supportive assistance to areas heavily affected by flooding on Friday. According to Muhammad Goje, Executive Secretary of the Yobe State Emergency Management Agency, the agency received emergency alerts on a heavy downpour in some parts of the state in the early hours of Friday. Preliminary reports and spatial analysis indicate that several locations have been affected, including Old Prison, Filin Marche, amongst others. Additional affected wards include Sangaya, Karufi, and Tandari Ward. A call has been made to the federal government to allocate funds directly to local governments for self-sufficiency. The general manager of the Pan-African Strategic and Research Group, Ishola Williams, who made the appeal on Thursday in Abuja, said only through financial autonomy will local governments impact the rural populace positively. Trust TV's Kabir Lawal completes the report.
The Supreme Court judgment delivered in July 2024 affirmed the financial autonomy of local governments, in line with several recommendations contained in the Zaria Declaration. The reforms aim to standardize and strengthen local governments as the third tier of government, granting them greater autonomy and clearly defining their functions. The judgment emphasizes that local governments can manage their finances and carry out their duties without interference from state governments. The ruling also supports the direct allocation of federal funds to local government and prohibits the dissolution of elected councils in favor of caretaker committees. Major General Ishola Williams further stressed that full autonomy will enable local governments to effectively contribute their quota to the national development.
The whole problem started from 1966 when the military government completely defederalized Nigeria. Okay? And since that time, and in what way? Each region had a share of their own resources. And these resources were used to look after the state and their local government.
The acting director of Democracy and Governance, Christopher Ngera, said it is crucial to strengthen local government autonomy, adding that the roles of 3 tiers of government should be clearly defined to prevent interference in each other's duty.
And I think that at this time there's need for, after 1 year, there's need for the judgment to be implemented in real life. And I think that the political will by the federal government has been demonstrated.
The traditional rulers are there to complement the effort of the local government in so many respects. It's only that in Nigeria, the moment there is 2 units of government are serving the same people, we begin to see conflict of emerging. But for me, I don't see any conflict because we are living in a federal state and the constitution recognizes 3 tiers of government.
Earlier, Awal Musa Rafsanjani of Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center called on traditional rulers and local government councils to work together for greater productivity, especially at the grassroots level.
So the main reason is to see how we can recommend ways, in which our local government system can be more effective, efficient, and more accountable, as well as ensure local participation, grassroots participation in democracy, because we believe that if people are participating effectively at local level, we will actually have a better, people to manage our affairs at both local and state as well as national level.
Stakeholders also urged civil society organizations not to relent in their effort to promote grassroots development across the country. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, ASUP, has issued a 21-day ultimatum to the federal government to address unresolved issues affecting the polytechnic education sector. The union warned that failure may result in industrial action that could disrupt academic activities nationwide. ASUP President Comrade Shamak Banja issued the ultimatum at a press conference in Abuja on Friday, calling on the Federal Ministry of Education to quickly send the executive bill on their demands to the National Assembly. Banja also expressed concerns regarding the ongoing reliance of external consultants for accreditation processes in polytechnics, questioning the qualifications and backgrounds of some of the contractors involved. Among the union's key demands is establishing a dedicated regulatory body, the National Polytechnics Commission, similar to those governing universities and colleges of education. ASUP expressed disappointment over what it described as delays in the legislative process required to actualize the commission. The union also reiterated its long-standing concern over the disparity in the treatment of higher national diploma HND holders compared to university degree holders. ASUP noted that this persistent discrimination undermines the morale of polytechnic graduates in the workforce and hampers the sector's development. Instances of technical glitches affecting the operations of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, and the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, have sparked growing concerns over the credibility and reliability of Nigeria's standardized testing systems. Trust TV's correspondent in Benue State captured the reactions of Nigerians who are worried about the implications of such glitches on the conduct of crucial examinations in the country. His report.
Many Nigerians say 2025 will be remembered as the year the nation's 2 cardinal examination bodies, JAMB and WAEC, were hit by a massive crisis described as technical glitches. The planned transition to full computer-based testing (CBT) for external examinations such as WAEC and NECO is now under scrutiny. This follows recent outrage after the West African Examination Council denied candidates access to its results portal for the 2025 West African Senior School Certificate Examination, citing technical challenges. while defending its serialization method for subjects including mathematics, English language, biology and economics. WAEC admitted that post-release quality checks exposed glitches in its backend systems. Stakeholders fear that such recurring issues could undermine public confidence in the fairness and accuracy of critical academic assessments.
This has a way of eroding the credibility of the results, and of course putting a lot of question marks, on the capacity of the the various examination bodies to embrace technology and then adopt the current technologies that can be deployed to make these examination bodies free of some of these human interventions that people have been complaining of.
This will erode the confidence of both the student and we, the parent. You see, today we are having issues having confidence in INEC as a result of all these glitches. No, we didn't know that this rot will get even to the educational sector, which is the bedrock of this country. So if this rot will get to the schools like this, that people will begin to lose confidence, we parents will begin to lose confidence into the system. So I don't know where we are heading to.
Opinions, however, differ on how technology should be deployed in future external examinations.
So I believe that Nigeria is ripe for this, but as it is usually in every society, the beginning, we definitely have some of these teething issues, but with time, the process can be perfected, and that is what I should be expecting from these examination bodies, and that is what I also want to call on Nigerians, because we cannot continue doing things the old way. The only thing we should just do is that we should just make efforts to ensure that we get the best, and we are committed to ensuring that these things don't happen, because these things are being used in other parts of the world. So if it is working in other societies, then why shouldn't it work in our own society?
WAEC should either sit up, because if they are not ready and they don't have the will with that and the equipment to align with the current technology, the current realities, they should better go back to analog, so that we will not be expecting this kind of. It's so devastating.
It would be recalled that WAEC announced that only 38.32% of the 1,969,313 candidates who sat for the 2025 examination obtained credits and above in 5 subjects, including English language, while over 192,000 results were withheld for alleged malpractice.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Uyuzuno Directorate has arrested 5 suspected illegal miners for allegedly extracting and transporting 1,200 bags of ilmenite, locally known as black sand, without the required license. The suspects, Samuel Akwa, Willie Uboko, Mohammed Tukur, Salmanu Ibrahim and Zanfar Adam, were arrested on Wednesday, August 13, 2025, while conveying the consignments in a truck. The EFCC, in a statement on Friday, posted on X, said at the time of their arrest, the suspects were conveying 1,200 bags of ilmenite in a truck without authorization. All they had was a waybill indicating that the consignment belonged to a certain Will Jane Global Ventures Limited. Now, according to the commission, the suspects told interrogators that they were headed to Port Harcourt, Yobe State, to make a delivery when they were intercepted. The FCC said the arrest followed weeks of surveillance along the coastal lines of Mpanak at Ibana local government area of Akwa Ibom State. The Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, has removed 247 companies from its database, declaring that they were never duly registered as limited liability companies. The Commission announced the move in a notice posted on its official X handle on Friday, saying the purported incorporation of the affected companies was invalid. According to the CAC, the registration certificates, RSC numbers, allegedly linked to the companies had never been assigned to any entity. It urged the public to disregard any claims suggesting that the delisted companies exist as legal persons. Acting National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Umaru Damagum, has inaugurated the party's 2025 elective convention zoning committee with a call for fairness, equity and strategic planning to guide the party's leadership selection. The inauguration, held at the party's National Secretariat in Abuja, marks a crucial step towards the party's national convention. The committee is chaired by the governor of WACE State, Diri. In his remarks, Damagum described the committee's work as foundational to the PDP's future, stating that its decisions will significantly influence the direction of the party over the next 4 years. He urged members to consider the broader interest of the party and the country. The acting chairman acknowledged recent leadership challenges and internal changes within the party, but emphasized that the PDP remains a vital force in Nigeria's democracy.
Protect our democratic structures and prepare the PDP for victory in every election. Loyalty is the lifeblood of our party. Without it, unity is impossible. Yet, loyalty alone is not enough. It must work hand in hand with competence. As you consider zoning, picture the caliber of individuals who may emerge from each zone and ask yourselves, will this person embody the values and strength of the PDP in a way that make us proud before the country?
The members of the committee, I stand to accept this huge responsibility that has been bestowed on us. We will be consultative, we will partner, and we will be inclusive in ensuring that we arrive at a fair and just zoning formula for our party. Thank you for finding us worthy to discharge this assignment, and we will discharge it to the best of our abilities.
Two more stories. The federal government on Friday inaugurated the Committee on Collective Bargaining for the Health Sector. The inauguration signals the official commencement of negotiations with major health sector unions and associations in line with Articles 1 and 2 of the Guidelines on Collective Bargaining Agreement Machinery. The negotiations will involve structured engagements with the Nigerian Medical Association, the Joint Health Sector Union, the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, and other health unions. Meanwhile, the negotiations will focus on remuneration, working conditions, professional development, and the welfare of the associations and unions. This development comes days after the NMA issued a fresh 21-day ultimatum to the government. Governor Ahmadu Fintiri of Adamo State has launched the disbursement of the fourth phase of the Fint Business Wallet initiative, a transformative program aimed at empowering households and boosting micro, small and medium enterprises across the state. This phase will benefit 40,000 individuals, each receiving 50,000 naira to support their businesses and livelihoods. Trust TV's Gibson Swadigo tells us more in this report.
The Director General of the Poverty Alleviation and Wealth Creation Agency, PAWECA, Michael Zira, praised Governor Fintiri's administration for its commitment to economic empowerment and inclusive growth. He said the initiative seeks to uplift the less privileged, strengthen small-scale businesses, and foster a trade-friendly environment that encourages entrepreneurship at all levels.
Even ahead of the main rollout of today, this action reflects your proactive approach and deep concern for ensuring that support reaches those who need it most without delay.
The Deputy Governor, Kalita Pofarauta, who represented the governor, described the initiative as a commerce corridor that reaffirms the administration resolve to fight poverty and open opportunities for thousands of households or expand life-changing businesses. She stressed that despite micro-businesses being the drivers of economic development and growth, access to finance and power has remained a major challenge for many operators.
According to the National Bureau for Statistics, our poverty profile has reduced with double digits from 74% to 60%. This is unprecedented.
So far, more than 100,000 citizens have benefited from the Fint Business Wallet program. Gibson Adugo, Trust TV News, Yola.
In Jagawa State, Governor Umar Namadi has welcomed the Deputy Minister of Agriculture from the Republic of Liberia, David Akoi, to Jagawa State on a study tour aimed at learning best practices in rice cultivation and value chain development. Here's more.
During a courtesy visit to Government House, Dutse, Akwayi said the mission was to gain practical insights into rice production in Nigeria's leading rice-producing state. He explained that Liberia, where rice is the staple food, faces a heavy reliance on imports, with up to 70% of its rice currently sourced from outside the country. He noted that Liberia chose Jagawa over destinations outside Africa to learn from Nigeria's progress in rice production, particularly the state's success in overcoming cultivation challenges.
And so yesterday we arrived in Kano. This morning we headed for your state, where they took me to their field where they are doing 500 hectares of rice cultivation. From there, they asked me also to come and see what you, Honorable Governor, is doing for this state, the mechanization center. And I saw what you are doing, and they told me that is just the initial machines that you have brought to actually transform the agriculture sector in this country. So on that basis, I said, I've got to see the governor to say thank you for what you are doing for your people, not only for your people. What you are doing is going to transform what we in West Africa, Africa want to do by feeling ourselves.
Responding, Governor Namadi praises the Liberian government for selecting Jagawa as a learning destination, saying the collaboration would foster mutual benefit. He reaffirmed his administration's commitment to agriculture as the backbone of Jagawas. Governor Namadi highlighted ongoing investments in modern farming techniques, irrigation, infrastructure, and mechanization. These include the rehabilitation of 10 irrigation dams, the purchase of 300 tractors, 60 combined harvesters, 150 planters, and other equipment. With each of the state's 30 constituencies allocated at least 10 tractors for subsidized hire by smallholder farmers. He stressed that shifting from rain-fed to irrigation farming was key to mitigating the effect of climate change and boosting year-round production.
So, Honorable Minister, agriculture is the only way forward for Africans. Because as long as we cannot feed ourselves, we are nowhere. There's no way we can move forward once we continue to import food for our people. So that is why in Jagawa State, we have a very ambitious program, especially for rice. When we came in the first year, 2024, as the time we came in 2023, we are not doing more than 55, 60, 70 hectares of rice. But 2024, we did over 200,000 hectares. We have done over 200,000 hectares. And this year, we are aiming almost close to 300,000 hectares. So we are progressing.
The visit is expected to strengthen agricultural cooperation between Jagawa State and Liberia, with the potential to enhance food security in both regions.
We go to Lagos State, where point-of-sale POS terminals have become a common sight across the state, with some streets hosting more than 5 operators. These services have made financial transactions easier for residents, helping to address daily cash needs. Many operators say the surge is driven largely by unemployment in the state. Here's more in this report.
According to some residents, the high rate of unemployment in Nigeria has pushed many, especially young people, into the point-of-sale business, which may believe have solved numerous financial challenges for residents. These days, many preferred withdrawing or depositing money through POS agents rather than visiting banks, which often involves long queues and delays. In Lagos, POS terminals are almost everywhere, sometimes as many as 5 on a single street. With limited job opportunities in the densely populated state, many young people are turned to POS operators as a source of livelihood, while shop owners have also adopted POS services, using them to attract customers and boost sales.
You are in a place that there is market, there is profit, but now
POS is much. It's very, very much. I'm telling you. People that are starting 2020, 2021, the gain that we are making that time is not that same. It's not the same thing with the one that we are making now. Because people have already much now. But at least if you do it, if you have 20,000 naira, you do it. At least you make a little. But to just be spending the money anyhow, you make your own profit.
So it's not enough gain, but it's moving markets day by day, everywhere. And the second, the CBN have cut off the tax that you have to have. Now, if you want to withdraw 10,000, before it's 200. Now, CBN have collect 50 naira on top, and that's remove 150. And I will tell the customer that will pay 250, but they will say no, they can't pay 250. And then you out of the 150, you pay for the data and the paper. Please, CBN, we are on our leave. Have mercy on us.
People that devil into POS, I think there's a reason for that, because there's a lot of conveniences for people. When they use POS, they can easily get it around. And there's, aside that, when you go to banks, the way they deduct money from your withdrawal, every withdrawal is 75%, like 75 naira or maybe on 10,000. Meanwhile, on POS it's just cheaper. It's not that it's cheaper like that, but people want conveniences, and there's no job. People just use it to while away the time,
POS business is profitable if you know your way is around it. And looking at the situation of the country, there is no job. Everybody is just looking for a sustenance. But at least for a POS operator, you'll be able to you'll be able to earn a little amount of money in order to sustain you, to feed your family to some extent.
The rapid growth of POS services in Lagos has had a notable impact on the local economy, as it has created jobs, kept more people engaged in productive work, made business transactions faster, and promoted financial inclusion across the state.
The federal government has adopted its first national policy on menstrual health and hygiene management aimed at improving the health, dignity and opportunities of women and girls in the country. The policy, funded by WaterAid Nigeria with the support of Population Services International, was validated on Friday in Abuja by the Minister of Women Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, alongside commissioners from all 36 states, the Federal Capital Territory and other civic actors. Developed through consultations across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones, the document reflects state-specific priorities and socio-cultural realities aimed at addressing pressing challenges such as stigma, lack of information, and inadequate access to safe menstrual products, factors that contribute to school absenteeism, early dropout, child marriage, and early pregnancy among millions of girls. The Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Mariam Keshimro, described menstrual health as not only a women's issue, but a community and national development issue. She noted that the journey towards the adoption of the policy began in 2018. The All Africa Music Awards, Afrima, continues to receive high praise from industry stakeholders, with top entertainers commending its role in celebrating African talent, preserving culture, and boosting the creative economy. Here's more in this report.
African music stars have applauded the continent's rapid musical evolution over the past decades, describing it as one of the most vibrant and hardworking industry in the world. The president and founder of Afrima, Mike Dada, says preparation for the 2025 edition are fantastic, noting that the event's growing global recognition reflects the rising influence of African music on the world stage. He explained that each edition marks a new milestone with stronger acceptance and understanding of what Afrima represents for the continent.
We're particular about the art itself, the culture, but more importantly, what does this translate to in commerce? How can this generate more revenue for our people on the continent, so that we can reduce poverty, reduce hunger, and create jobs for our people, and increase the GDP of the continent through the creative industry, through the music industry. So those are the connections for us. So for us, we are not taking it lightly. We believe that, and that is why we have various activities and programs along that path. The Music Business Summit that we do, the policy advisory that we do with policymakers, for them to understand how the creative economy leads to development, so that they can inform how they design their policies and take action.
Popular Nigerian TV host Okogwele Ehezoje, better known as Dada Boy, also praised the remarkable growth of African music, highlighting the hard work of talents both on and off stage.
So many individual superstars now. We make one of the best music around the world. So much hard work in front of the camera, behind the camera, on stage, behind stage. So I'm just proud to where our music is right now. We're not in our final form, but we're gonna get there someday.
Veteran comedian Ali Baba hailed Afrima for preserving African culture, history, and creativity through music. He stressed that awards go beyond recognition, serving as a powerful affirmation of an artist's value and contribution.
I want to thank Afrima for keeping the torch burning and for helping to preserve our culture, our history, our rhythm, and for helping to also boost the entrepreneurship of the creative industry. I want to say big congratulations to Afrima for what they've been doing over the years. We support Afrima. We pray for more amazing experience, more amazing.
With nominations set to be announced later this month, Afrima's influence on the continent's creative industry remains clear, celebrating artistry, inspiring unity, and driving economic growth through African music.
Nigeria's headline inflation rate is to 21.88% in July 2025 relative to the June 2025 rate of 22.22%. The National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) revealed in its recent data that the July 2025 inflation rate showed a decrease of 0.34% compared to the June 2025 headline inflation rate. The food inflation rate in July 2025 was 22.74% on a year-on-year basis. This was 16.79% points lower compared to the rate recorded in July 2024, which was 39.53%. The significant decline in the annual food inflation figure is technically due to the change in the base year. According to the data, on a month-on-month basis, the food inflation rate in July 2025 was 3.12%, down by 0.14% compared to June 2025, which was at 3.25%. NBS attributed the decrease to average lower prices of vegetable oil, white beans, local rice, maize, flour, guinea corn wheat, amongst others. Away from Nigeria, United Nations say that 17 areas in Sudan are classified as at risk of famine, including parts of Darfur, the Nuba Mountains, Khartoum, and Jazira. A UN spokesperson, Stefan Dujarric, said the World Food Programme is calling for humanitarian access to El Fasher, which is facing starvation and remains cut off from humanitarian assistance. Dujarric said some residents are living on animal fodder and food waste as a coping mechanism. The briefing comes as health officials in Sudan launched a 10-day cholera vaccination campaign in the capital Khartoum to curb what humanitarians call a rapidly spreading outbreak. Over in Sierra Leone, the President Julius Maada has reiterated his wish that the Alliance of Sahel states will rejoin regional body ECOWAS. Maada took the rotating presidency of the Economic Community of West African States in June and says he hopes the good relations he has with Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger will work in his favor. The three junta-led countries formally announced their exit from the 15-nation bloc in January, following the formation of last year of their own alliance. They broke away when ECOWAS demanded a restoration of democratic rule in Niger after its 2023 military coup. It's a pivotal time for the West African bloc as the region faces growing threats of terrorism, climate change, military coups, and poverty. Maada has stressed the importance of maintaining regional unity as it deals with these challenges. It's now time for sports news with Adeniyi Ajishafe.
The Athletics Federation of Nigeria, AFN, has released names of 26 athletes to represent Nigeria at the Confederation of African Athletics CAA Region 2 Senior Athletics Championship, holding from 18 to 19 August 2025 in Accra, Ghana. The contingent will compete in 20 sporting events in 100 meters, 200 meters, 4x100 meter relay, 4x400 meters, long jump, triple jump, and shot put. Veteran Patience Okon George will lead the athletes to University of Ghana Sports Complex in Legon, Accra, under the technical director Gabriel Okon and national head coach Solomon Aliyu. President of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, Tinubu Okowa, charged them to be worthy ambassadors of Nigeria. Team Nigeria, with 22 athletes in 2024, topped the medal table with 13 gold, 4 silver, and 1 bronze. The team will depart Lagos on Saturday for Accra ahead of the championship. And in basketball, Nigeria D Tigers won their second game at the ongoing FIBA AfroBasket 2025 with a commanding 87-66 victory over defending champions Tunisia in their second Group B clash at the Pavaiho Motsiso de Luanda, Angola. D Tigers raced to a 10-0 run within the first 3 minutes before Tunisia fought back. The Tigers controlled to close the opening quarter 29-16. The North Africans tightened up in the second quarter with a late surge to trim the gap. The second quarter ended 19-17 in favor of the Tigers, who comfortably won by 48-33 to end the first half. Nigeria maintained dominance in the third quarter, outscoring Tunisia 20-14 to carry a commanding 68-47 lead into the final period. The fourth quarter draw at 19-19 sealed 87-66 victory for the D Tigers by a 21-point margin. Nigeria will face Cameroon on Sunday in their third game in Group B. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
That concludes News Hour tonight on Trust TV. For more of our news programs, documentaries, what follows on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. On behalf of the news production team, thank you for joining us tonight. Good night.